Good day all YouTube viewers, it's your local the Cabin Dutchman here, bringing you a very special video. This, my friends, is an update video. A couple of days ago, a person named JoltsDude released a video on the internet containing some, but basically, you could say it's sort of a promotional video for the 5th DLC, the 5th unofficial DLC that me and my friend Sleekmaster are working on. And in this video, I'd like to address, first off, I'd like to address a couple of minor things that JoltsDude kind of got wrong, because I've noticed that after JoltsDude released said video, I've noticed a subscriber increase in my subscriber base, and I feel the need to address the newcomers and even the long-lived veterans on my channel a little bit about what is going on with the 5th DLC and how it's going to continue from here on out, and how you guys can get your hands involved in this DLC. So without further ado, let's get into it. First, we're gonna address some minor mishaps that JoltsDude made, and hopefully I can sort of like correct them here. They're not bad mistakes that he made, it's just some minor details. First off, JoltsDude mentioned that the custom myriad that he had, that I had made for him, was going to be part of a custom item that would be part of this DLC. However, this is wrong, because this item, the myriad grenade, is already available to the public, because the custom items and weapons that I've made so far are completely independent from the 5th DLC. So the myriad grenade is already available to the public. You can download it. You can use, not the grenade itself. You need to you'll download my pack. Then you need to implement the codes of the Grimjow vials, as they're called, into your inventory. And when you use these Grimjow vials, every time you get a kill on an enemy, they have a chance to drop maybe an item or a weapon that I've made, and one of these items that might drop might be the myriad grenade. And when you get the myriad grenade, you have about 1% chance to spawn Commander Jolts. So Jolt said that it would be part of the DLC. That is wrong. It is already available. Of course, it will eventually. My weapons and items, and also Sleekmaster's weapons and items, will be part of the 5th DLC and will be included in all the loot pools concerning chests, enemies, bosses, mission rewards. It will be included in all that concerning the 5th DLC. But as it is now, the 5th DLC is far from being done. And, all of our items and weapons that we've made so far are just available to the public as a separate pack, just put it that way. The second thing that JoltsDude got wrong is that he said that X-Spider, or my friend X-Spider, was also working on the DLC. That's a yes and a no. Currently, as it stands, X-Spider has only done one thing for us, and that is combine two different skag textures into one, that allowed us to use that for oomph, and that's about as far as it goes for what X-Spider has done for our DLC. So basically, he's not part of the entire DLC thing. It's just me and Sleekmaster. However, like I said, it's a yes and a no situation with X-Spider, because he does intend to, get more involved with our DLC. Because he's also learning, as we speak, about UDK and the ways of the UDK editor. And he has also said to me, at least, that he wanted to create other custom textures that could be used within our DLC. I will get into that about custom textures and more later, but first I'm gonna go to the third thing that might have just a small thing that JoltsDude missed, is that Julsut said that Sleekmaster is working on weapons, shields, items, and NPCs for our DLC. This is wrong because Sleekmaster is only working on NPCs for our DLC. Because the items and the weapons and everything that Joltstoop mentioned, I mean, they're already there as a separate pack for both me and Sleekmaster. So yeah, Sleekmaster also has made custom weapons and items in the past, and these are just up for download as a separate thing. These will be included in the final product of the 5th DLC, but as it stands now, they are separate from the DLC. So those are the things that Josu kind of got missed, and I got the feeling that I needed to address to, set things straight a little bit for all the newcomers. As for what you could do for the 5th DLC, because Josu was right about what you guys could do for the 5th DLC. Well, there are a couple of things that you could do to, help me and Sleekmaster out with the development of this 5th DLC. And let's start off with the textures that I mentioned earlier. Like Xspire said he wanted to do, is he wanted to make more custom textures for our 5th DLC, including billboard textures, and maybe decal textures. As in, I will show you a couple of examples of, like, here are two billboards, examples of existing billboard textures for Borderlands, and basically Spidey is going to make more different, custom billboard textures that have never been seen before, in the games of Borderlands, which are completely unique to this, to our DLC. And the same goes for decals. You have this thing called a decal actor. It's basically when you walk around a map, you have these, maybe a wall or a floor or a ceiling which has maybe some smudge on it, or it has a poster on it, or it has a painting on it. These things are decal actors, and yeah, those also relate to a texture, and basically Xspider is also going to do this. But this doesn't limit itself to just Xspider. If you guys have any, let's just say experience in any program like Photoshop, or I don't know what you use to make these things, but all I know is about Photoshop. But if you have any experience using a program which could create these decals or textures, like in the Borderlands timing, the cell shading, the kind of like half-assed kind of like assembling, the cell shading, just the Borderlands, the overall Borderlands look. You should, when you see, I mean, you can see the pictures here and you can relate to what me and Sleekmaster are looking for. So if you can make things like textures like these, then and we could use them as either decal actors, or maybe textures for custom enemies, or textures for billboards, or textures for ground, or textures for walls, textures for other props within our DLC. Then don't be hesitant, just contact either me or Sleekmaster. I'll leave, every contact detail of both me and Sleekmaster in the description box below. Coming on to the other part, or the next part of what you could do to, help out the 5th DLC, is if you have a voice acting talent, if you have any experience in voice acting, then we are also interested in you. Specifically, if you can either voice or imitate the voice of Marcus Kincaid, Matt Moxie, Patricia Tanis, Scooter, or Dr. Zed. If you can imitate their voices, then and Crazy Earl, if you can imitate their voices, that would be great, because we want to make a fully voiced DLC. So every side quest, main quest that are given by NPCs, and not via billboard. Oh, I mean bounty board. Sorry. If you have any experience in, or if you're able to imitate their voices, then that would be much appreciated. We're also looking for people who can voice act, like maybe do a really good impression of a psycho, a Borderlands Bandit psycho, or a Borderlands bruiser, the bulky kind of meaty persons if you can reenact their voice, their gruff male voice or something. If you can reenact all that stuff and you feel confident in your voice acting skills and you have the equipment to properly record set voices, then we also want you aboard our DLC. However, note that the current stage that the DLC is in, any voice acting things or just like, yeah, voice acting in general is not relevant at the moment because currently we're focusing on, well, Sleepmaster is focusing on creating the hostile NPCs. So like, well, oomph, for example, or any badass crab worms, and just a shit ton of other enemies, but creature type enemies, not character type enemies yet. He will go into the character type enemies after he finishes up all the creature type enemies. And I myself, I am busy with, well, designing the maps and making the maps. So anything relating to implementing missions, main missions, side quests, and everything which would, have voice acting tied to them is not relevant at the moment. However, this will become relevant at a later stage during the development of the 5th DLC. So, yes, we're looking for voice actors, and if you can voice act, just say the word. And when you just leave us your contact details, and when it's about to get time for us to start implementing them voices, we'll give you a heads up, and that you can and then we can discuss what you need to do, and I can, or maybe or Sleepmaster will write you some scripts which you need to talk into, and then send the voice files towards us. Anyway, so I hope this kind of clarified a little bit about what needs to be done for the 5th DLC and how you guys can step in with the development of the 5th DLC. And so yeah, I think that about wraps it up for this video. I hoped it informed you, and leave a like if it did. That lets me know that I did a good job. Anyways, this is the Camper Dutchman. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.